All right, let's talk about this year's EuroLeague, because what we're about to see, it's not just another season, it's a total paradigm shift. The entire landscape of European basketball is being reshaped by crazy ambition, a ton of money, and what's basically a massive arms race for the title.
So first things first, the league has expanded to a whopping 20 teams. This turns the season into an absolute marathon. It's going to test the depth and, honestly, the willpower of every single roster like never before. We're talking more games, more travel, and way more pressure.
But this expansion, it isn't just about cramming more teams into the schedule. No, it's being fueled by two massive, game-changing forces that have completely thrown the old balance of power right out the window. So on one side, you've got this incredible flood of high-level NBA talent deciding to come to Europe. And on the other, you have this groundbreaking strategic expansion, bringing a ton of Middle Eastern capital into the game, all led by the brand new team in Dubai. And the result of all that? Well, it's a chaotic, high-stakes arms race where every single contender is spending big and gambling even bigger.
And nowhere is that arms race more intense than in Athens. The 2026 Final Four is going to be held right there in the city, which turns the already historic, fiery rivalry between Panathinaikos and Olympiacos into an all-out war for basketball immortality on their home turf.
And this isn't just some rivalry, it's a fundamental clash of basketball philosophies. You've got Panathinaikos betting everything on just overwhelming star power, while Olympiacos is doubling down on their identity of suffocating, disciplined, hard-nosed defense.
Panathinaikos really went all in. They paired the reigning league MVP, Kendrick Nunn, with the reigning Euro Cup MVP, TJ Shorts. On paper, people are already calling it the most dynamic backcourt in the history of European basketball. The pressure is just immense. With the Final Four in their city, anything less than a championship is going to be seen as a monumental failure. No pressure, right?
So what was Olympiacos' response to all that? They completely ignored the superstar chase. Instead, they just doubled down on Coach Barzokas' system. They went out and got elite defenders, locked in their core guys, and they're basically betting that their proven chemistry and defensive identity can take apart any collection of individual stars. It really is the ultimate wager. Can a great team beat a team of great players?
But it's not just the Greek giants making these huge moves. All across the league, other top contenders are making their own unique high-stakes gambles to try and get to Athens. Just take a look at the defending champions, Fenerbahce. So they win it all, and then they lose their Final Four MVP. How do you replace him? Not with proven EuroLeague talent. Oh no, they went with an audacious experiment, signing high-upside NBA players who have never played a single minute in Europe.
I mean, we're talking about explosive, athletic players like Talen Horton-Tucker, Brandon Boston Jr., and Armando Bacot. All guys who are used to that wide-open NBA style of play. So the real question is, can their notoriously demanding coach, Šarūnas Jasikevičius, somehow integrate three players with zero international experience into his incredibly complex system, all while trying to defend a title? It's a fascinating high-wire act.
Meanwhile, over in Spain, another giant is going through a complete philosophical reset. After a really disappointing exit last season, Real Madrid is asking a totally different question. In a league that's obsessed with scoring, what if an elite defense is the real path to a championship?
So they hired the legendary defensive coach, Sergio Scariolo, and completely reshaped their roster around his vision. They brought in tough, versatile players like Trey Lyles and Chuma Okeke. This team is being built specifically to win those ugly, physical 80-75 games in the playoffs.
And then there's AS Monaco. After getting to the final last year, they made the splashiest move of the entire offseason. It's the ultimate superstar gambit, and it forces us to ask one of the most classic questions in basketball.
What did they do? They paired the league's all-time leading scorer, Mike James, with the former MVP, Nikola Mirotić. I mean, their offensive ceiling is almost limitless. But the whole season, it hinges on a rookie head coach, Vasilis Spanolis, managing two of the biggest egos in European basketball. They are the ultimate boom or bust team. It could be glorious, or it could be a complete train wreck.
Okay, so beyond that top tier, the league's expansion has really opened the door for new challengers who are looking to just shake up the established order. And no challenger is more historic or more mysterious than the new team from Dubai. Dubai Basketball is the league's first ever team from the UAE, and they are this fascinating test case, an instant team. basically built from scratch with massive financial backing. Their strategy was pretty simple: buy proven scorers, headlined by their huge signing of two-time champion Djenen Moussa from Real Madrid.
And let me tell you, they made their presence felt immediately. In their very first game, they came out and hit their first 7 three-pointers in a row. They basically announced to the entire league that their explosive scoring is very, very real.
And you know, the rest of the field is just as dangerous. You've got FC Barcelona, who reloaded with proven scorers like Will Clyburn, but still some big questions about their perimeter defense. Then there's Partizan, backed by a record budget, who brought in NBA talent like Shake Milton and Jabari Parker to really juice their offense. And of course, you can never, ever count out two-time champs Anadolu Efes, who are retooling their elite backcourt under a new coach. Seriously, the path of the playoffs has never been this crowded.
So, with all these competing strategies and crazy storylines, who actually has a credible path to glory? Let's try and break down the 4 teams that, based on how they're built and what their philosophy is, have the clearest road to that Final Four in Athens.
First up, the consensus favorite has to be Panathinaikos. They've got the most talent, a championship-winning coach, and that once-in-a-lifetime motivation of playing for the title in their own city. The pressure is on them, but they have all the tools to get it done.
Next is the ultimate system team, Real Madrid. They are being built specifically for that tactical, defensive grind of a playoff series. With their elite defense and incredible depth, they're basically constructed to outlast opponents in a 7-game chess match.
Then you have the most resilient contender, Olympiacos. With that suffocating defense and years of built-up chemistry, they are the team nobody wants to face in the playoffs. They are, to put it simply, a nightmare matchup for anybody.
And finally, you have the wild card, AS Monaco. Look, their floor could be a first-round exit filled with drama, but their ceiling is the highest in the entire league. If that superstar duo of James and Mirotić actually finds a way to coexist, their offensive talent is just undeniable.
So we're heading into one of the most unpredictable and compelling seasons in EuroLeague history, and it all boils down to one fundamental question. When the dust finally settles in Athens, which philosophy will be holding that trophy? The overwhelming firepower of the super team or the disciplined resilience of this system? We're about to find out.